Everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and the question for today is maximum erasure value. So, given an array of positive integer nums and want to erase a sub-array containing a unique element. So basically we are given an array, we have to erase basically in sub-array which is containing a unique element. So basically what the score we get after that is equal to the sum of the sum element. So basically we have to return the maximum score of the sub element by raising exactly one sub array. So long question short, what does the question wants to say is that given an array, return the maximum maximum sum subarray containing the unique elements. I hope the question statement is clear. It's a maximum subarray containing only the unique elements. Alright, so don't confuse it with the maximum sum subarray problems using the cadence algorithm. In that, we have to calculate the maximum sum, but the elements are not unique. Alright, so in this question, we have to only focus on that subarrays that have the unique elements. So there will be a different algorithm for this question. Alright, many of you might have a thing as soon as the question is a bit tricky at here and the language is a bit modified, but we got the crux of the question, and that's very easy to understand, not difficult at all. So an array B is called to be a subarray of array A. So it's showing us the definition, because if it's a subarray, then the elements are equal, consecutive order. Alright, so that's what the subarray means. So it's not like you picked one element from here and another from here and you say that it's a subarray. No, it's not a subarray. Alright, so they have to be consecutive. So that's what a subarray means. Alright, so and in this question we have to get the unique one. Alright, so I hope the question statement is clear. Moving on to the constraints, very important thing. So the constraints we have is that the it could be from 1 to 10 to power 5, so no need for check for 0, that's for sure. Null or empty array check, it's not required at all. And the had it been the length would have been up to 100, we could have used a small hash array. Alright, so but in this question I'll tell you we'll use hash set for this, and why hash set, because the range is quite large. So if we take a subarray, that would just speed up the process, but it would require the unnecessary memory allocation. Alright, so yeah, you can do both depending upon the examiner. If you say that you want to a more space optimized solution, then you can go for hash set, and if it would be a more faster solution, then you should definitely go for the space, that is a taking an extra array for 10 to power 5 size. Alright, and 10 to power 4 size, sorry, and the value range on there. So this is example given. We will discuss one. This is some kind of easy examples. We will discuss two examples in the approach. So let's not waste any further time and let's move towards the approach for this question. Alright, so yeah, this is how we are going to solve it. Let's see the approach, and the approach we will see with the help of one example. Alright, so for this question, the intuitive thing is that one thing is that to maintain the uniqueness thing, we need to know that what numbers have occurred and what number we are at. So for that thing we need a hash set. Alright, so number one thing that we will be needing this should be a hash set or a map. Alright, I hope that's clear. A set would be required in order to maintain the uniqueness. Alright, I hope that's clear why we require a set. Alright, now moving on, how we get the idea of a set, that's also I told. Now moving on, what the next thing would be required? The next thing would be required is the kind of a window thing, that is the identifying the unique subarrays. Alright, so if our window is in one pass, alright, if we are traveling from here to here, and we know that if it's occurred, so we will move our window from here to here rather than from this to this. Alright, so changing the window accordingly. So how can sliding window questions be done? It are done with the help of two pointers. So these are the two things that we will be requiring for solving this particular question. Alright, I hope that's clear. Now moving on towards our very first example, that is the fourth example given in the question itself, 4 2 4 5 6. Alright, so let's see, this is our array, and suppose we have a hash set and that contains the unique elements only. So up till now are both the pointers, that is the two pointer approach, both the pointers are at initial positions. Alright, so the first number occurs. Alright, So that, suppose that is I and this is j. Sorry, I and j. Alright. Now the first number occurs. Alright. I will be at the starting only. Alright. Now moving j. So the first number occurs. It's not in the hash array set. So we add it in the hash set, and we initialize our sum and max variables. So whenever the questions are of maximum, these two variables are always by default necessary in any question. Alright. So we initialize our sum variable and max variable. It would be initialized initially to 0. Moving on with the code, that would be updated in the code as well. So for the first number, it would be 4, and the maximum sum up till here would be 4. Now moving I to the second variable, that is 2. So we see that 2 is present in our hash set. No, it's not. So we add it in our hash set and we modify our sum. So it's this 6, and maximum is now updated to 6 as well. Alright. Now moving on, the next number is 4. Since 4 is present in our hash set, we will delete this number and we will move our I to next. That is, we move our window. Alright. Since deleting would cost us 6 minus 4 would give us 2. Alright. Sorry for the noise. Moving on. Then 6 minus 4, that is 2. But since again we are at the number, we have to add that number as well now. So this number would also be added. So sum would be this minus this plus this. So sum would again would be 6. Let me erase this, and so now maximum would be 6 and would be 6. Now 4 would be removed, and we will move with our algorithm. J would go to 5, then it would be updated 6 plus 5, that is 11, and 11 plus 6, that is 17. And since it would be updated at every iteration as well, max would be, it would be 11 initially and then 17. At the end we will return the max. Alright, I hope this example is clear. So this is a quite bit simple example. Now moving on to a little bit complicated example, that is if 7 is placed in the beginning of the same array. Now how we are going to approach? In that we just incremented the I, but is that is the case? No. Let's see what. So this is a set, this is a variable max as well as sum. So moving on, we got 7. Alright, so we got 7 and we got 7. So initially the sum is 7, the maximum is 7 as well. So 7 plus 4 is then 11, and max is also updated to 11. Alright, moving on, 11 plus 2 is 13. We add 7, we add 4, and we add 2. Alright, and 11 plus 2 is 13. So 13 is the sum and 13 is the max. Now let's see the case when I is at 0th position, j is at this position. The sum is now what we have is 13, and the maximum is 13 as well. And these are the contents of our set. Alright, now what we do, as soon as we encounter this unit, so we won't increment the j. Listen it again, we won't increment the j until the j is at the position which is unique. So one by one we will remove the values from the set as I incremented. So I was here, we increment I to here and remove this from the set and from the sum as well. So 13 minus 7 13 minus 7 would be 6. Alright, sorry, it would be 6. Alright, the sum would be 6, maximum would be effective, of course. And now moving on, then again we have 4, that is a max. So we again subtract this, and 2 would be there, and we remove this from the set because set is at the window. The set which would contain our final answer is the window of the elements that we have taken. So if in the question it's demand that not to return the sum but the window containing the unique elements which have the highest sum, then we will return our set. So that's why the set is there. Alright, now as soon as it is encountered 2, now 2 is alright. So as soon as it encounters 2, it's not equal, so that we can increment the j, but we have to add that as well. So 4 plus 2 is 6. Now sum is 6. So now it will move again like in the previous question, and the answer would be 17 as well, and it would be updated. I hope the approach is clear to everyone. The unique case that I have discussed, it was this was a very simple case, and it get us to the initial approach. But this is the main question, that how we are going to solve these kind of cases as well. So let's see the code for this problem, and everything would be crystal clear after that, I'm sure. So alright, this is the code, and alright, all the variables are initialized as well as the set. No need to place a check for 0. I've eliminated that. Moving on, only because j is traveling ahead of I, so it would be the first one to reach the num zone length in any case. They will reach together. The I would be before. So at every case j would be. You can think of that as well. Now either it would set would contain the number, or it would not. If it would be containing, it would be not be containing the number, then it's a unique number. We will add the number, we will find the maximum, we will add it to the set, and we increment the j. But if it contains that number, that is the number we are at, if it's contained, so we keep on subtracting the nums of I, sum minus nums I, and we remove the nums I. Alright, because as we 7 4 2 4 we remove, then we are not incrementing j, we are incrementing j only and only when the set does not contain, that is when the uniqueness property is achieved, that is when we delete the duplicate value. If there are suppose 10 numbers ahead of that, so we will increment I one by one until we reach the point that is unique. So we will cover that. This is the beauty of the sliding window approach, that we can cover all the sub-arrays with it. So we are incrementing j in 1, I in 1. It's kind of a O of n approach, you can think of that as well. So, and I hope the code is clear to everyone, and the approach as well. So if you are facing any kind of difficulty, let's first submit it. Let's first submit it and then ask you this question. So as you can see, it's accepted. Now if you are facing any kind of difficulty with the code or with the approach, you can comment me in the comment section, and I will surely reply to every one of you. And if you really like this video, please press the like button, share it among your friends, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.